This is Hit Publish, the first podcast dedicated to uncovering heroic businesses secretly navigating the ever-changing digital landscape. Each episode, we'll play host to leaders in their fields discussing their adoption of the latest digital trends and related technologies, addressing the total effects on the way we market businesses and brands across all of our industries. And occasionally, we'll pay homage to the technology giants who dictate our online lives and the platforms they provide, reminding ourselves of the self-inflicted and inevitable misuse of personal data. So if this all sounds good to you, skip the terms and conditions, ignore the privacy policy, and hit subscribe. On this episode of Hit Publish.
It's when you're reaching the right people who are really wanting your message and the results and the transformation that you bring, it starts to become magical. A sale is a sign of a commitment, a committed relationship, a sense of trust and feeling that you're credible as a business. It's not a casual relationship, which is why we need so many touches. Don't ever connect with random people because you don't want a large network of unengaged people. You want people to be interested in what you're saying and to join in the conversation. And you know, people don't really know how to behave. They're desperate. They think that going out hard and fast, doing sort of Gary Vaynerchuk style, being out there is how it works. But none of us like to be sold to. A sale is a sign of a commitment, a committed relationship, a sense of trust and feeling that you're credible as a business. It's not a casual relationship, which is why we need so many touches.
On this episode, we met up with Jill Chitty from LinkedIn Freedom, an expert in the LinkedIn platform, engagement, strategy, and lead generation. Jill provides professional services in LinkedIn profile optimization, corporate integrated strategy, and lead acceleration. Jill helps people and businesses uncover any hidden mistakes that are sabotaging success and create a clear vision for generating leads through LinkedIn.
We put Jill to the test and gave Ian and my profile a live critical review. We learned some fixes to the most common mistakes people make, and Jill gave us some takeaways of what you should be doing to optimize your LinkedIn usage to help attract, nurture, and convert more leads and find more customers through the platform.
Hello, we're back. Hi, Chris.
Good afternoon. Good morning.
None of us have got coronavirus.
No, we're all right, thank you.
Good. It's a bit heavy on the coronavirus at the moment, isn't it? It's not good stuff, really.
I've got 95 packets of toilet rolls next door, though, if we need them.
Have you got any hand sanitizer, though?
No.
Oh, if you had any of that, it'd be gold dust. We're joined today by Jill from LinkedIn Freedom. Hi, Jill.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm very, very well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you.
Good stuff. We're pleased to have you in. We've been wanting to talk to you for a little while about LinkedIn Freedom specifically and LinkedIn itself and get into all of that kind of stuff. But before we do, can you perhaps tell us a little bit about your background and career, Jill?
Yeah, I've got a colourful background. I started life as an actress. Which actually has come in really handy with this. And when I had kids, I became a single parent, unfortunately. And I started a business to give me freedom with having my two boys, which was completely different from what I'm doing now. But again, all of these things lay a great foundation for what we're doing. So I ran an award-winning business with 17 staff called Glitter and Gloss. And we went out and did girls' makeover parties, from sort of little fairy parties to towie parties we had back then.
Oh,
and I started coaching people in the recession because my business was growing and they wanted to know what I was doing differently. And that's led to me coaching businesses and business owners now. And I'm focusing on LinkedIn because it's marvellous.
Okay.
Why LinkedIn?
Well, I work B2B. And LinkedIn is probably the most powerful B2B platform ever that the world has ever seen. And it just makes getting a really powerful online presence and generating leads reasonably easy when you know how.
Okay.
So we know that LinkedIn is still the king when it comes to organic reach, but we know evidently it's slowly starting to drip off, and it'll fall in line, no doubt, with all the other social platforms and become a pay-to-play platform. But what are you doing, and what are your sort of tips to sort of perhaps caveat that and get around that organic reach that's slowly sort of waning off?
Yeah, great question, and not necessarily an easy question. Just
Sure.
to
It's never easy.
help everybody out here. Thanks for that one.
Breaking you in gently with a...
So at the end of the day, LinkedIn is a business, so they want to make money, and the way to make money is to encourage people to pay for reach. But they're still leaving us an awful lot of room to actually share what we're doing and speak to people. So from my point of view, I'm still generating 2 to 3 leads a day, despite the reach. So organic reach is, most people think of that as just being on the home feed. So your posts don't reach as much people, but you only need your post to reach that one right person that's ready to work with you. And if you hate selling, LinkedIn is fantastic, because you just need to show up, be really clear on how you're showing up on LinkedIn, and consistently speak to the right people and more of the right people, and get in front of them with really clear messages. And LinkedIn rewards you for consistency on a consistent basis. So a lot of my clients will go from having an awful profile on LinkedIn and really going on there and saying, look, it really does nothing for me, to being on the platform every day and engaging with hundreds and hundreds of people. And that's where your organic reach is safe, is when you're reaching the right people who are really wanting your message and the results and the transformation that you bring. It starts to become magical, and it takes a life of its own on. So almost organic reach for me hasn't change despite the algorithm change on LinkedIn, because I'm speaking to the right people who want to hear. If you're not speaking to the right people, then it becomes salesy, then it becomes awkward, then you start pushing things, and that's when
it becomes
you'll
noise,
struggle.
right?
Yeah.
So I guess that phase one is sorting out your profile and getting your online personal brand sorted, and you work with people and help that sort of thing.
Yeah,
really?
I have a series of workshops, and the first one always is for people to look at their profile and get it right. I can also rewrite your profile for you as well.
I'm a bit hesitant to ask this, but did you look at Ian's in Mind before today or not?
Gosh, no, I didn't.
Oh, phew. I think that might be a good thing. I don't know.
I've missed a trick there, haven't I?
Yeah.
I will do a written report though for you.
Oh, blimey. Okay. in the show notes, people. But then, so once that bit's sorted, and then, you're talking about showing up frequently. And so does it then become about content, really, and putting out regular and good content?
Content is a part of it.
Yeah.
It's about building relationships. Many people miss the simple tricks on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a networking platform. So if we were to meet, which actually we did, Chris, we first met a networking event.
We did.
Did you see me standing in the corner with my back to everybody?
No.
Having a presence there, but engaging with no one. But that's what we do on LinkedIn. We get a profile up, and then we think, boom, I've done it. That's it. People are going to come flocking to me. So you actually have to communicate with people, engage with people, and build that relationship, because a sale is a sign of a commitment, a committed relationship, a sense of trust and feeling that you're credible as a business. It's not a casual relationship, which is why we need so many touches. So you have to spend time doing that. There aren't any shortcuts to building relationships. All the digital wonderful things that we have. Yeah. It's still a human to human marketing action that needs to take place.
Okay.
So, LinkedIn is very much the home of personal branding. So do you feel there's any point to having a company page? Is there much value to be added there?
If you'd have asked me that 6 months ago, Ian, I'd have said, no, focus on your personal page, your personal profile. But actually, LinkedIn is starting to give a lot more weight to company pages. And like you say, the whole sort of business branding, because they're wanting to elevate the platform. They're wanting to keep those businesses alive. So I also work with a lot of corporates as well as SMEs and micro businesses. And depending on what size business you are, a company page, although they call it pages now, which is a bit confusing, a company page is vital for positioning. If you want to do any sort of advertising as well on LinkedIn, you're going to need a company page.
That's right. It's interesting that the algorithm for LinkedIn, Facebook, for example, if I publish a post, Chris, and you like it, Facebook's algorithms will only smartly show that you've liked that particular post to certain people it feels will be interested in that.
Okay.
Whereas LinkedIn is still the only platform where if you like a post, it will tell all of your connections that you've liked that post.
Right.
So actually, the reach from a business page, as you rightly say, is a lot wider than a reach of a personal profile currently, but it won't be long before that's switched off and you have to pay to play, I suspect.
Okay.
But actually, Ian, if you post something from your personal profile, so you're posting on the home feed, you can keep that post alive. So a couple of weeks ago, I did a little bit of a rant at people saying, I go onto LinkedIn once a week and I post and I engage, but nothing's happening. And actually having that daily routine is really important that you do. Before you do anything else, you get onto LinkedIn and do your routine. And I just said to people, I've got a morning cuppa routine that I do. Would you like me to share it? Okay. And I've had, I think probably within the first couple of hours, I had about 45 people saying, yes, please, yes, please, yes, please. And every time somebody posts, I'm responding. And actually other people in that post are then saying, actually, that's a really good idea, and putting their thoughts in and asking questions.
Which in turn pushes that post.
And so it pushes it back to the top of the home feed. Everybody else will see it. Now, ultimately, I think currently I've got 6,000 or 7,000 views for that. It's not huge. It's not a viral post, but actually I made a lot of new connections and I had a lot of phone calls out of that post because people saying, this is really good. What else can you show me that actually is going to be helpful on the ground, very practical, and start to get me a lot more visible in front of the right people. So you can keep, that post was probably going back 10 days, a couple of weeks ago. People are still saying, yes, please, can I have this thing?
Okay.
And it keeps it live for a long time.
It's that value-based stuff, isn't it? People will jump all over that kind of post if it's reaching the right people. With that in mind, this is quite a broad question, to be fair, so perhaps more specifically for you, what kind of strategies are working to grow your reach on LinkedIn without paying for it?
Yeah, there's plenty that I can share. So first of all, you want to be reaching out to people and identifying the very people who have the potential to need your services. And you can find those in, there's plenty of filters on the, there's some filters on the free, you get more on the premium, and the more you pay, so I use Sales Navigator now, you get a lot more filters in Sales Navigator. So you can actually drill down and create a lead list of potential clients and reach out to those people on a regular basis. I always send a personalised invitation, and I make my clients swear that they'll do too. Okay. Because for me, just clicking connect isn't about building relationships, it's about gathering numbers. And when people connect with me, I send them a welcome message, and that will be different for everybody. But basically, it's making them the most important thing, but also just sort of saying very briefly, I'm a bit of a LinkedIn geek, and there's plenty of information on my profile. Feel free to go and view it on my website. But no selling. That's the most that I would do. So you're starting to position yourself, and that's where I get a lot of come back then from people saying, I've been needing this for a while. It's time for me to sort my profile out. It's time for us. We need to get out there more. We've just taken on some new staff. And so it's always very, very timely when you're actually reaching out to people and prospecting.
On that note, actually, I'm trying to be a bit better on LinkedIn and a bit more. I was very shy and I didn't post or whatever personally, but now I'm starting to trying to get a bit more involved. And I went on a bit of a cull of like connections who I didn't really know, because I just connect much like you say. And I think I've more than halved. I think I'm down to a couple of hundred now. And these are people that I have genuinely met or genuinely interacted with at some point in the past. Is that a good way forward, or should I be connecting with random people that are choosing to connect with? No,
don't ever connect with random people, because you don't want a large network of unengaged people. You want people to be interested in what you're saying and to join in the conversation. it's a good place to be. So my youngest son has just last year finished uni, gone off to work as a recruiter in London. And he's been saying to me, Mum, you need to teach me about LinkedIn because I know I'm going to need to use it. And of course, recruiters are big on LinkedIn. But he's really got the knack of engaging his audience with a very small network. And he, at one stage, was getting more views on his posts and more engagement than I was at the time. So a bit of a competition. So actually, having a small engaged network creates a very powerful position for you, Ian, because you can really start to get your identity out on LinkedIn. I chose my words carefully because it's not about selling or promoting your post. It's about people getting to know you and what you stand for. So now you do definitely want to grow that as fast as you can. There's that sort of 500 plus badge that LinkedIn has for some reason. I don't really know why. People are more likely to want to connect with you once you've reached that level. And the bigger your network, you'll find more people coming to invite you into their network and join as connections. But you really want to be proactive in who do you want in your network and reach out to them.
So when we do get those, perhaps not random people, but people we haven't genuinely met and they try to connect, what are the signals to sort of say, okay, yes, I will connect with you, and what are not? Because a recruiter, for me, I wouldn't connect because that's not the field I'm in or would want to be. But perhaps someone in the same industry as me would be someone to connect with, but why would I connect with someone who's in the same industry as me? Because ultimately they're probably not going to want to buy from me because of that very reason.
Great. So a couple of things there. First of all, you either want to connect with somebody that is in the arena to use your services or has a network of people that are in that arena. Okay. So every time, when we connected, you then had access to my nearly 13,000 connections. Mm-hmm. So they become second connections for you. So you can easily connect with those people. So you might think, okay, I'm not necessarily going to work with Jill, but actually she's got a network full of my ideal clients. So that's when you want to connect with people you don't know. Also, the other thing on LinkedIn is it's great for creating partnerships. This has served me so well over the years. So it might be somebody similar to you who actually serves the same audience, but doesn't quite do the same thing for you. With some of my clients, we only focus on creating partnerships because it's a fast, easy way to get new leads and grow your client base.
Okay. Presumably those, a pet peeve for you is if you get a connection request and then it's followed up by a personal message that is buy my stuff type of thing.
Yeah, I actually have several pet peeves. Somebody in the invitation message saying, the worst one I had was, I can make you a billionaire in a weekend. Delete. Okay. Another one is, oh, you look really nice. Are you single? Delete. Okay, and people don't really know how to behave. They're desperate. They think they're going out hard and fast, doing sort of Gary Vaynerchuk style, being out there is how it works. But none of us like to be sold to. So, I regularly delete people from my network.
Should everyone pay for LinkedIn?
Well, there is an awful lot that you can do on LinkedIn for the freemium if you just want a presence. Mm-hmm. So you can use the advanced search and you can do a Boolean search. So, if you're an accountant and there are several types of industries that you know that you've got experience in and you work really well with, you can do a Boolean search, so a long-term sort of long string search. Okay. And you can actually get a good list up and start working that list. The difficulty with free is you're limited to 100 profile visits, 100 invitations. And if you do that on day 1 or 2 of the month, you have to wait till day 1 of the next month for it.
Sorry, so when you say profile visit, not that I've ever sat there and looked at 100 profiles before.
No.
Really?
No. But so literally, I click on Chris's profile, that's 1.
Yeah.
And I go off and I have to do that 100 times.
Yeah.
That's me for the month.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So that tells me you're not using LinkedIn to its max.
No, definitely not.
Absolutely.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
So And also you can't see who's viewed your profile, because those are potentially warm leads of people that are interested in your service. When you start paying, and I think currently premium is around about £50 if you pay for it month on month. It's much cheaper and cost effective if you've got the cash flow to pay for the whole year. You then have unlimited access to viewing people's profiles. You see everybody that's viewed your profile. There's no limit on number of people that you can connect. And then Sales Navigator's got a built-in CRM and a really good search function and filters. So it makes it super easy to connect, engage with people. So what I used to do on the premium in about 45 minutes, I can now do in 25, 30 minutes using Sales Navigator. But, that's why you pay for it.
Is personal brand is obviously a big thing. It's not something I'm actively trying to increase engagement with or whatever. I generally do it through sort of business channels. And I want to understand the value of what LinkedIn can bring me as a personal brand. So obviously, yes, I can get myself out there and people know who I am and come knocking should they need those services. But why would I choose LinkedIn, say, over advertising through Google, straight up intent-based search, or advertising through Facebook? Why would I choose LinkedIn over those platforms that are almost guaranteed to bring at least leads or cold leads immediately over LinkedIn that feels like more of a slow burner?
It's a really interesting question. I was having this with a conversation with a prospect yesterday. I think you should be doing multiple things. If you're only ever relying on one platform, that one platform closes down, then you're scuppered. And that's not good business practice. Things like SEO, Google AdWords, people are actively looking and they can give a much quicker return if you're starting from a standing still point. Mm-hmm. What you're doing on LinkedIn is building a base of potential clients. So you're going out and you're connecting with people, you're having conversations. We've all been to a networking meeting face to face and come away with a really good opportunity. Thought, oh, I didn't expect that. So we don't know all of the people that are out there who having that conversation with them makes them realise, I really need to get this sorted. I need some help in this. So it's a much slower start from a standing point, but once you gather momentum on LinkedIn, then it rolls in like a beautiful wave and just keeps coming.
I guess the quality as well is going to be a lot higher, having that slow burn.
Yeah, and LinkedIn members are very loyal. What we do know is that LinkedIn members are searching for business support, business help using the search term. So I picked up a message this morning. It was an in-mail, so somebody I'm not connecting with. In fact, I think they were a third degree. And they said, I searched for a LinkedIn expert because I'm wanting to do X, Y, and Z, and you came up first. Can we talk? So that happened overnight. Okay. So the beauty about LinkedIn is it works 24/7, and it's really up to you how little or how much you get out of it.
What are the most important things we should be doing on LinkedIn? What should I be focusing on the most from a freemium perspective?
So with the free, you get your profile and it's to position that right. Most people upload an outdated CV and, they think that's enough. This is, Chris, you asked me about one of my bugbears. This is one of my bugbears, that people make their profile all about them. So I've done this, I can do that, I'll offer this, and the profile, in my view, that's not what the profile is there for. There's an about section that is really to be about your clients. So you've got to make it client facing. So when they read your profile, they can see themselves in what you're talking about. They can actually envisage having you resolve some of their issues, help them with some of their hurdles, and which actually means they'll be able to take that call to action more. So it's really a positioning piece about authority. And when people feel that we get them, there's immediately a trust built. So your profile is such a powerful positioning tool. And I get all the strategies that I use is sending as many people to your profile as possible. again, people will put managing director of in their professional headline, which is the 120 words under your name, which is under your picture, so the top bit. And that's a real waste of keywords, because you want the algorithms to be absolutely certain what you're about. You don't want a broken profile. And so, putting managing director isn't a keyword. Putting accountant is a keyword, because that's what people are going to be searching for. Okay. So many opportunities are missed on the profile to really
That's a good shout,
people.
actually. That's a good shout. So yeah, if your headline should be what it is or the skill you have over your job title.
Yeah, you can put the skill, the result. You can put who you best work with, so your market. It can be soft results, hard results. You can put your programs in or your service in. Obviously, that's a great thing. But that little bit, it follows you around. So if you engage with anybody, that bit pops up. So it's a bit like your networking badge. It lets people know in an instant what you're doing, and they can click on that straight through to your profile. So it's really powerful.
Which I think would be quite interesting.
What's that?
I think if Jill doesn't mind, we should do a live critique of your profile.
Mine?
Yeah, or mine. I'm not bothered. But before we do that, let's do some news.
We should do both. That's only fair.
Yeah, it's
really.
fair.
Okay,
It's only fair. Yeah.
Should we do some news,
Sounds
though,
good.
first?
Yes, let's do it.
Let's do some news. You got the timer ready?
Nearly.
Come on, hurry up. I've got some relevant news as well.
Okay. Go.
5 news articles in 5 minutes. LinkedIn, to start with. LinkedIn is finally starting to expand its retargeting capabilities with engagement retargeting. Like other social ad platforms, this will allow you to retarget users based on the action they took on your ad. So, for example, much like Facebook, if I open up an ad and browse it for a little while, that puts me into a little pot, and then later down the line, I can go ahead and retarget. It's good that LinkedIn are finally starting to open up that those capabilities, because it's been a long time coming. There's they haven't sort of said when that will happen, but some people have started to see the options within the ad platform, so it's starting to happen.
It takes a year to roll out those sort of things usually.
Yeah. So we'll be seeing that soon, which is good stuff, a positive way forward.
Yeah.
Twitter, this isn't really news, to be honest, more like old, but we knew it was coming anyway. Twitter launches its own take on stories with fleets. Though Twitter is keen to point out that it is not stories as we typically know it. So what the main key thing is, the difference is that according to Twitter, it is to provide users with a way to share that isn't overly public. So fleets will actually disappear within 24 hours. So it's a bit like a snap.
Okay, yeah.
They're all sort of copying each other, aren't they? That's what they seem to do at the moment. But Twitter's taken a slight twist on it and taken a bit of stories and a bit of Snapchat and put it into one. So we'll see how that goes. Have you seen it yet?
No, I haven't. No, I don't get on Twitter very much. I get
I'm
on
not
Twitter
a Twitter girl.
That's interesting. It might get Sam, as we know, all over Twitter. He loves all of that kind of stuff. And I've heard a lot of people saying that it's falling off the radar.
It just feels a full-time job to keep up with all the tweets.
Yeah.
And
it's fast.
I think Twitter's making a comeback, actually.
You heard it here first, people.
I read today, I didn't put it in the news, but who's the CEO? Can't remember his name. He might be getting shoved out anyway. Long story short, which will probably change things either for the better or for the worse. Moving on. Deliveroo and Netflix mounting consumer anxiety over the spread of coronavirus has seen that Deliveroo and Netflix have seen a surge in demand. Basically because people are hibernating.
Oh, okay.
So Deliveroo, it's crazy, isn't it? Deliveroo are doing really well, and lots more Netflix subscriptions have happened. Someone's winning, even when terrible things are happening,
and someone's losing. And businesses are struggling because of the effect.
Of course. It's not always a good thing. So
I saw Corona. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but Corona have lost millions of pounds from their turnover as well, just for being unfortunate that they got named. As part of that.
That is stupid, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not drinking that beer. It's named after a virus.
That's right.
Sam.
Yes.
Remember that 2-part episode we did about search engine optimization?
Yes, how could I forget? It was amazing.
Well, off the back of that, our very own resident SEO expert Chris has given up some of his time to help out some of our listeners with his top tips to help your website rank better within search and ultimately encourage more traffic, which equals more leads, which equals more sales, which equals cash in the bank.
All right.
If you head on over to hitpublish.digital/web ranker Chris, need to be careful how I say that, where there will be a simple form for you to schedule a 30-minute discovery call with Chris, where he'll audit your website and provide you with some simple top tips and easy to implement strategies to help your website rank better.
Yes, all jokes aside, Chris really knows what he's talking about, and to have 30 minutes of his time free of charge is a great win. So head over to hitpublish.digital/webrankerchris to schedule your free session now.
Is it a first come, first serve thing?
Yeah, I think we should do like first 5 or
10?
10.
First 10. First 10, head on over to hitpublish.digital/webrankerchris to schedule your 30-minute discovery call. Okay, moving on. Amazon is set to announce a new business line selling the technology behind its cashless Amazon Go stores to other retailers. So have you ever been to one of those?
No.
Okay, so I think there's just one in London. But they're quite popular over in the States. So these are shops you can literally go into, pick things off of the shelf, and walk out the store. And Amazon knows what you've taken off the shelf, and it will just charge to your Amazon account. So there's no store workers in there, or very little store workers. Are just stacking shelves.
Yeah.
It's quite cool. It's quite interesting. They have a grocery store. They have I think their biggest store is like 10,000 square foot of lots of different stuff that you might find on Amazon and other places. And so you can walk in, grab your stuff, and walk out. No.
How does it know what you've got then?
Well, clever technology. From what I understand, they've put depth cameras and other types of cameras in the ceiling, and it monitors every single person that walks around the shop.
Sure.
And those cameras can tell whether you've picked something up and put it in your bag, or you've picked something up and put it back on the shelf.
Got it.
And then there's other technologies as well.
Incredible, isn't it?
Crazy.
It's cool stuff. It's cool stuff. So anyway, Amazon is selling this to other retailers. They haven't said or disclosed who has signed up to it yet, but they did say that there are some large, well-known shops and retailers that will be taking this technology on board. So it won't be long, I imagine, before we see that in the UK.
Blimey.
But what does that mean for jobs? There's always a caveat, isn't there?
I guess high street banks, more and more there, you just go into a bank and use the machine, don't you?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's happening. It's happening. But people are losing jobs, but then at the same time, it creates jobs because now someone needs to manage that technology, and now I think it's just changing what the jobs are as opposed to perhaps losing all of those.
And the
jobs.
shop workers have to go over and become delivery drivers, and
They could become
and they'll be doing really well right now.
and teachers, couldn't they?
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Last but not, how much time have we got on the clock?
I
think I'm going to do it again.
30 seconds, quick.
Oh, quick! 3D printed bones. Say no more.
Ooh.
3D printed bones. Okay.
3D
Feels
printed
wrong.
bones.
Feels
yeah.
wrong.
It does, doesn't it? I'll read you the little bit. It says, you can now become partially android for a couple of years while your body heals itself. It may sound far-fetched, but patients needed reconstructed surgery. This could soon be a pitch from Danish startup Particle 3D. So basically what they will do is they'll 3D print a bit of bone that perhaps you've lost, and they'll put it in your body. I'll finish up. They'll put it in your body, and as your bone starts to heal itself, it will grow into the plastic, or it's not plastic, I'm sure it's something more.
Membrane.
Yeah, I'm sure it's more hardcore than that, and push that away. So that kind of dissolves while the bone takes over.
So
Right.
clever.
It's
I like
incredible
that.
stuff, isn't it?
I like
Very
that.
good, very good.
So when we're all old,
That's it.
it'll be easy when we get our
It'll
hips
be sorted.
replaced.
Yeah.
Print out a new some of them, put it in our body, yeah.
That's the news.
Nice.
Okay, so a bit off plan, but Jill's going to critique our profiles,
Wow.
which I think will be good because our listeners can take away some of those things that we found out and improve them. Who are you starting with, Jill?
So I got Chris up on my mobile.
Okay.
Let's start with that top bit. So you've got a picture of the office as your banner.
Uh-huh.
You could be missing a trick there because you could really position yourself with some authority. You have to ask yourself, do people really care what the office looks like? Or do people need... See, what happens when you look on a profile, you have under 5 seconds to really position yourself, and people will either go, yep, this is for me and I want to know more, or no, I will move on to the next profile.
Okay.
So
It's the old office as well.
It is the old office.
I thought that.
Yeah.
So you can put something up there that actually positions you, lets people know in an instant what it is you offer. That's a nice picture. I'd make your head fully in the circle.
Okay.
So that when you meet with people, they instantly recognise you.
Okay.
And then your professional headline, Chris. So your first few keywords on your professional headline is finding R. So that's what LinkedIn really picks up as your most important keywords.
Okay.
So you want to change that. So you've got finding our customers more customers, both on offline, both on and offline. See, I can't even read it properly. So you really want to work on what are your...
quite good. I was quite happy with that. I thought absolutely. But I hadn't looked at it in terms of, keywords in there sort of thing.
So the key for you is finding is customers online and offline and bringing profitability to the business. So you have to think of a way in which you can position that in making it really clear, but having and really readable, but having those really important keywords. I mean, you guys are big into keywords with what you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So get those keywords in. There's tons of ways that you can also embellish this. I always use all capitals because you want it to stand out. A lot of people are putting emojis in now. If that fits with their audience, horizontal lines or shapes to just bring people's attention to it and break it up. So there's a lot you can do.
My posts are very much like that.
Yeah,
my profile is not.
No, and I guess for me, thinking about what you're telling us now, Jill, I hadn't thought before. If someone is looking for, finding their business more customers, they want to do marketing, they want a marketing strategy, marketing plan, would they go? I'd imagine that they go to sort of Google and search for those things as opposed to going on to LinkedIn and searching for a digital marketing person.
The story that I've just alluded to, one of the messages that I got this morning, shows that people are looking in the search
Makes sense.
box. Yeah.
Do you know what interesting facts, slight aside, but do you know what the second biggest search engine in the world is? Obviously Google being number one.
YouTube.
No.
It is YouTube, yeah.
Is it? Okay.
It is, so get your optimization on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's your very, very top piece.
Yeah. Some homework to do on that.
You have. And then your about section, you've used the most overused word ever on LinkedIn, which is passionate.
Okay.
So in a nutshell, you're talking about yourself. And if we don't know you yet, we don't care.
Yeah.
So you have to position yourself in a way that what you're saying really matters to us. And we do that by making it about our potential clients.
Yes.
So you want to turn this around, start expressing some of the things that you'll know about your clients, like the struggles that they have, or the mistakes that they make, or the hurdles that they're not climbing over because they think they can't or they don't have the tools or whatever. Speak into their world first.
Okay.
Nobody really cares about you anyway.
No, fair enough.
So
thanks, Jill.
You can take you out of the... We care, but strangers don't care. We only really give a monkeys about what is in it for us. And that's what people are looking for. Remember, people have their mobiles in their hands usually and they're scrolling very quickly. Something's got to catch their eye. And what will catch their eye, and it's very brain-based stuff that I love, is whether it's about them or not. Sex catches their eye, bad news, sort of drama catches their eye, and stuff about their friends.
You're suggesting I should put some bad news sex in the top of my... Okay.
No. But what I am suggesting is that you talk to them as if you really know them and you're a friend, and come from that basis.
On a very casual... relaxing, informal kind of way.
Nothing salesy. I mean, I get people that are on my email list saying, replying to my emails as if I've written that email just for them. So you want to come with that in mind.
Would you say that that's not that I'm critiquing Chris, because I'm sure mine's just as bad or whatever. Is that quite a long about?
No, I think you have 2,000 characters in that professional about section. And you want to use those, otherwise the algorithms think you don't have an awful lot to say. Because I think you do. And then at the end, you have missed an almighty trick. So you've got a little bit about your offering, which is great.
The services,
and you can really put a lot more of that in your experience section.
Okay.
But there's no call to action. So what do you want people to do? Now, people aren't stupid by any stretch of the imagination, but they're busy and distracted. So you have... we'll leave that for outside of the podcast. So you have to make it really clear what you want people to do next and why there's value in there for them doing that. So you really need to get that piece in there.
Okay, thank you. Will do.
Great. So, it's
That
It's
makes
not
sense.
the worst
That's all-
I've seen,
Yeah.
Chris.
Thank you for that. But yeah.
don't worry too much.
So top tips there, I think for Chris specifically, obviously more to be had from the banner image, your lead-in title. What is that called? Sort of where Chris says
Professional headline. And
Professional headline.
That's the bit that follows you around.
So some keyword-rich optimization there. You love a keyword,
I
Chris.
do. Yeah,
love
that's
a good
it. I apply it to
keyword,
websites,
yes.
but I haven't applied it to my own LinkedIn profile.
That's it. And your about section could do with some work.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Right.
Ian.
Let's
Dun,
start.
dun, dun. Save the worst to last.
Yes. Yes.
Go on then. I've got it open.
Okay, so
Christ, it's old. Yeah, go on.
your banner at the back, again, doesn't position you with any sense of authority or engage people in thinking, yes, this is for me.
Okay.
I don't know why we make everything about us. So what would in a flash, what would your clients need, or your prospects need to know or need to feel? Because actually feeling is a precursor to a sale. So can we make them feel something?
Mm-hmm.
So your picture's great, although we can't see your eyes. You've got your glasses. He's got his glasses.
Yeah, he's
on,
trying to look cool,
which
isn't he?
doesn't breed trust.
Is that true? Is it?
Yeah.
I haven't got many good pictures of me, so that's where it ends.
Yeah. Bag over your head, maybe. I don't know. So you can do something with your banner. A picture without your glasses on would be preferable.
Okay.
And then we come to your professional headline.
Yeah.
So it reads like this: in a digital-led and experience-driven economy, clients engage us to help them envision and create their online future. So I want to be able to see, you know what I'm going to say, don't you?
Yeah.
I want to be able to see in a moment as I read that, which most of us will do with profiles,
what I do,
whether there's something in it for me.
Oh yeah,
How
value.
can I help? Yeah. How Ian can help me.
So keywords, non-existent. It's very wordy. It's very sort of industry word led as well. So just make it really, really super clear and simple. You know, you can put in who you work with best. You can put in the results. So these are all two of you here. You do stuff that can be analysed and measured. So there's data. So give us some data of what you can do. I worked with a sales guy in the past, and he was able to give figures on how people's sales had increased, the percentage and the money that they made from what he'd done in the past, and put that on his professional headline. It was really powerful. Okay. So it doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, I'd say err on the side of keeping it really simple.
Yeah.
Now, you're making a classic mistake, Mr. Huber.
Yeah.
You're talking about yourself in the third person. So that's a bit like Chris and I when we used to go to our networking going, Jill says, hello, Chris. How are you? And she says, how are you this morning? And you say, oh, thank you, Jill. Chris says hello.
Yeah.
So you want to speak, you can't build a relationship like that. So you want to speak directly to people. Pop in a call to action, very similar to what I've said about Chris's, so I don't want to repeat that, but make it about your clients.
I've just noticed something that I've got and you didn't, Chris. And I don't know. I think maybe Sam done this for me.
Because I've got media up there.
Yeah, I can't remember to put it
so,
Yeah, those pictures.
Currently, Ian, you've just gone to top of the class. So media is great for positioning.
But I take no praise for that. I don't think I've done
it. You can put in PDFs, you can put in links, you can put in videos. So you can put in client testimonials, case studies. Yeah. I'm currently redoing mine at the moment. They've got a new feature rolling out called Featured. So I'm getting ready for that. I'm always the last one to get all of these things.
Okay.
But actually, and you can give some stuff away here. So you can create some quick wins for people that are viewing your profile, and it all goes in media, which can go under your experience as well. Okay. So you've got a lot to do. In your experience, you've got absolutely nothing there.
Yeah, I haven't got much experience.
So you need to flesh that out.
I do, yeah.
For your current business of what you offer people. What does it look like if I work with you? That would be the thing that I really want to know.
Yeah.
How's it going to be for me?
Yeah.
If I say I'm interested,
okay.
Ian?
Okay. I'm seeing some things here that I'm guessing only I'm seeing.
You'll see your
because-
dashboard.
Yes, yeah, indeed. So I was going to ask, what's an all-star?
So that's a really good point. Thanks for bringing that up.
Okay.
All-star is when you've completed all of the sections on LinkedIn.
Okay.
So the algorithms see you filled something in. It doesn't mean that you've got the right thing, as we've just seen,
Sure, yeah.
and that your profile is going to resonate. So when you've got an all-star profile, you will actually get shown higher up in the search results of people that are searching for something like you. And there's several bits of criteria. It always shows people who have completed all-star profiles who are closest geographically to you.
Okay.
Then it will show people who have all-star profiles who are at a greater distance to you. And then it will show everybody else.
Yeah.
So when you're doing a search in the search bar, it's usually only the first couple of pages, depending on the size of your network, that will be any good to you.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's really important you've got it completed, but then you have to look at the whole wording, how you're showing up, how you're presenting yourself, which all goes into personal brand as well.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Well, I'll make some moves.
That wasn't too painful, guys.
It wasn't actually. No,
No.
I thought I was going to get absolutely smashed, but not bad. We'll make some changes. So,
Yeah.
moving on. What's the number one? In fairness, you've kind of said this, but I think it'd be nice to hear why you feel it is that way. What's the number one mistake you see people making on LinkedIn?
They make it all about them.
So
Absolutely.
those ones
so
that
we've just done that.
Yeah,
So you guys are classics.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And do you know, it's not difficult to sit down for an hour with a framework and look at all of the things that your potential clients or even your current clients are facing. Some of the key areas that you know, if you address those, it would make a real difference to their world. Speak about that in your content and your profile and even in your messaging to show, again, it's a positioning piece, to show that you understand their world and you've got the capability of taking them from A to B and getting the results that they want.
Okay. This, I was looking at your website last night, or maybe the day before, I can't remember, LinkedIn Freedom, and the simple lead accelerator philosophy stood out to me. So to attract, nurture, and convert. Now, I appreciate this is a big question. It probably has many answers, but can you talk us through a typical strategy you use to achieve that philosophy with your clients?
Yeah. So first of all, you've got to have a client-facing profile that really attracts people. Now, that's the profile that we've talked about, but also if you look on anybody's profile, excuse me, you will also see their activity. So that is posts that they're engaging in, posts that they've written themselves, and also published articles. These are fantastic assets that sit on your profile and work for you, and they will also attract people. So you've got to have your profile created in such a way that it will really speak to your target audience and have the content there that will underline what you've already said on your profile. So attracting also is going out and reaching out and asking people to connect. You can also go to groups and get attention there. So LinkedIn groups are not as near as powerful as Facebook groups. They haven't quite got it right yet. They've made some improvements last year, but they are targeted groups of people who you can go and share some online space with. So most of us don't have a marketing or business problem. It is that we're just not visible. And I'm doing a live on that today on my Facebook page about how you can, in 7 simple ways, how you can become more visible. And you just need to show up every day and do these things on a consistent basis. So that's all about attracting people. And it's great when you get to that level and people ask, I need some help with LinkedIn. Who knows anybody? And you get 17 people go, absolutely, Jill Chitty, use her. And you get your network because of the way that you've engaged them. I've made some real friends on LinkedIn. They start being referrers and sort of
your advocates and things.
Advocating for you, and being ambassadors of what you do. So attracting is twofold. It's having that presence continually on LinkedIn through the assets on your profile and your profile, but also reaching out to say, hey, I'm here, shall we connect? And let's just see where this goes and what we can do for each other.
Mm-hmm. What wins, content or profile?
I think they go hand in hand. Because
I'm of the mind that all of these platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, etc., the profiles or the business pages, they all have exactly the same format, exactly the same styling. There's no sort of personality in it, unlike, say, a website or a mobile app where you can deliver a brand experience, a tailored brand experience based on that.
I think I have to disagree, because LinkedIn is the only platform where there is such an in-depth personal profile, because you can look through and see people that have endorsed and recommended. You can see people's volunteer experience, if they've written a book, if they've got specialities. You've got tons of information in terms of media, of experience, of your about section, where it is just so in-depth about a person and their business. And so the content will drive people to that. So they're two sides of the same coin. All your content should hopefully be bringing people to go, I haven't looked at Jill's profile for a while. Let's go and have a look. And LinkedIn tells you who's viewed it and how many views you get every 90 days. So
in terms of putting content up there, you mentioned previously about sort of, that you can publish articles, things on LinkedIn. If we were, put in an article, we've got something to say about something, should we put it as a blog on our website and on LinkedIn as a published article, for example?
Absolutely. Yeah, there used to be a time when, and published articles don't have the same clout now, unfortunately. Okay. But my thinking is they sit as assets on your
show your experience.
Somebody looked at and messaged me to say thank you at a published article I wrote about 3 years ago. Yeah. And it really helped them. So, they're there for everybody to see. So it used to be, if you put out a blog, don't put out that exact same piece of content on your published article. Now people are saying that the algorithms accept that article is going to go onto LinkedIn as well. Mm-hmm. They suggest that you leave it a little bit longer. You don't put them on the same day. You give your blog a few weeks to
let
gain
Google
impact,
see that and stuff.
Yes. Yeah. And then you can put it out onto the LinkedIn platform.
And putting it as, should you put sort of a content or an item off your company page and share it personally, for example? Or is it better to put it as a personally written,
I think it really depends if you're getting clients from your personal profile, and you're working that, then I would focus on that. Mm-hmm. With my clients, we have a very different strategy for a company page than we do for somebody that's I've got a company page, but they're a solopreneur or a small SME. Yes. So it does really depend.
Fair enough.
We use the LinkedIn ad platform regularly, and it's notoriously lacking in targeting and retargeting tools. So what tools or methods are you using to overcome this, perhaps outside of LinkedIn?
I have occasionally used ads myself. The filters for the ads now are very, very good. I don't know how recently you've done ads, but the filters for the ads are very good. So you can really sort of drill down to get in front of the right people. What's working really well for my clients now is sponsored in-mails. Mm-hmm. So you've got a couple of types of posts. You've got little line posts and sort of square posts on the right. I would never go anywhere near those. I think that's throwing money down the drain. You've got sponsored content, which is really about getting more eyes on people getting to know you. And, I test and check and do a lot of sort of measuring with clients when we put money to a post. So there's a whole series of things that need to be done in order to get a sponsored post out there and not completely waste your money. But what's working much better now is sponsored in-mails, because you can really find down to a key list of people, put in a cheeky little message, people are expecting a sales message. So when you put in a cheeky little message and you offer them something with a link to click through, and you put them into a funnel, that seems to be working really well. And it is dollars, or it's not even dollars, it's pence or cents, I should have said. So it's cents per, because it's all American.
Okay.
It can be cents per click through. So it can actually be done with the right product or the right service, can be really quite profitable and a really good ROI.
Is that same strategy working well across the campaign goals? So I think it's awareness, consideration, and conversion. Is that working across each of those segments, or is it tailored to a particular campaign goal?
Usually those are tailored to a particular campaign goal and have to be tested. But I think they do create awareness as well. So it kind of does fit into those two boxes as well.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned earlier, Jill, that you've got a Facebook Live coming up this afternoon.
I have, yeah.
So so you obviously use Facebook as well as LinkedIn, and I think I'm a member of that group. So yeah, you find that as a good sort of place over in Facebook to find people there and teach them about the wonders of the life over on LinkedIn, so to speak?
Yeah, so I've got a Facebook page, which is what the live is on, but I've also got a group. So I do some challenges in there. Okay. It's just a slightly different, a slightly different platform that allows you to build relationships in a bit of a different way.
Yes.
I'd much rather stay on LinkedIn, but the groups there don't give you the same sort of features and atmosphere. I've just gone on to Instagram. I think 3 platforms for me is enough. I'm not even contemplating TikTok or all the other new ones that are coming out at the moment. Yeah. I think you need to master one.
Yes.
And be competent in another, and sort of have one that you're learning about.
Absolutely. Yeah, makes sense.
Growing in, yeah.
Okay, one last question before we wrap it up. If I only change 3 things today so that my LinkedIn profile stands out, what should they be? So we've done that on our personal profiles. We've critiqued those, but I mean generally more broader across the board for anyone and everyone who's on LinkedIn.
So I want to go just a little bit broader. So if you only did these 3 things when you're on LinkedIn, they would make a really powerful impact for your business. So number 1 is changing your profile and making it client facing. Mm-hmm. Number 2 is reaching out to people and making sure that you are bringing into your network people who have the potential to work with you.
So by reaching out, you mean connecting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, inviting them to connect.
Yeah.
And number 3 is showing up every day, because LinkedIn has a score system, and it's called the Social Selling Index. And they, one of the measures is how often you are on the platform. So showing up every day, it actually keeps your score up. Now, that doesn't mean clicking on LinkedIn and going, yeah, I'm on here, hello, and then clicking off. So going on to the home feed and engaging with potential clients' feeds, putting a post out yourself, inviting people, looking at what's going on in the notification tab, and engaging with what your network is doing, responding to invitations that others are making towards you, and messaging people and having that relationship. So there's sort of 6 things that you need to do every day that will make a significant difference. And the higher your SSI score is, the more LinkedIn will show your posts and your profile to others.
Okay, yeah, it's going to reward their best customers, sort of thing. Yeah. Do you know, a quick question, do you know if it's fact or fiction? I've heard that, obviously LinkedIn brought in the different ways that you can not just like somebody's post, you can clap, you can celebrate it, all those other things. Hear that liking it isn't as much of an engagement. It prefers you to use the other types of emojis or whatever they are, or is that just...
Nobody really knows.
No, fair enough. Yeah, really of course. Okay.
And with the algorithms, there's many people, and I've done testing myself, there's many people who've got huge platforms and they spend the whole working day testing stuff. So we know, for example, don't put a link in your post that sends people off the platform, because LinkedIn spends a lot of money getting people on the platform and keeping them on there.
Yeah.
So put an external link in the first comment. We know that sort of thing works.
I think that's probably common for all the platforms, Facebook and Instagram and all that sort of thing.
But a Facebook expert told me that if you on Facebook, if you put the love, that holds more weight.
Yeah.
So you could assume that might be the way that LinkedIn goes. But we don't really know. We do tests, but that's just for our network and what works, and it's sort of circumstantial quite often, isn't it? So we don't know. It is guesswork. But the best thing that you want on your posts is comments. They hold a higher tally than even shares.
Share. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Good stuff. Well, we've just about run out of time. Thank you very much for coming in and seeing us, Jill, and having a chat about LinkedIn. It's good. How can we reach you?
So you can go to my website, which is jillchitty.co.uk. But of course, you can find me, Jill Chitty, on LinkedIn. Come and connect with me.
Absolutely.
Would love to connect with you over there. And every Wednesday at 1 p.m. on Jill Chitty LinkedIn Expert on my Facebook page, I'm doing free training.
Oh, wow.
Come and join in.
Free training.
Good stuff.
So some top takeaways today and some free training as well.
What more could you
Giving
want?
it away.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Good stuff. Thanks for coming in, Jill, and hopefully we'll perhaps have you back in again sometime.
Thanks so much, Jill. It's very useful.
Thanks for listening, and we hope you enjoyed this episode.
If you did, please remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and most importantly, leave us a comment or review on Apple Podcasts, as it really helps us to bring you new episodes regularly.
If you've got something to say around digital marketing and would like to feature on a future podcast, please do get in touch in any of the usual ways.
You've been listening to Hit Publish with myself, Sam.
Me, Ian.
And me, Chris.
Sam!
Yes.
Remember that 2-part episode we did about search engine optimization?
Yes, how could I forget? It was amazing.
Well, off the back of that, our very own resident SEO expert Chris has given up some of his time to help out some of our listeners with his top tips to help your website rank better within search and ultimately encourage more traffic, which equals more leads, which equals more sales, which equals cash in the bank.
All right.
If you head on over to hitpublish.digital/web ranker Chris, need to be careful how I say that, where there will be a simple form for you to schedule a 30-minute discovery call with Chris, where he'll audit your website and provide you with some simple top tips and easy to implement strategies to help your website rank better.
Yes, all jokes aside, Chris really knows what he's talking about, and to have 30 minutes of his time free of charge is a great win. So head over to hitpublish.digital/web ranker Chris to schedule your free session now.
Is it a first come, first serve thing?
Yeah, I think we should do like first 5 or
10?
10.
First 10. First 10, head on over to hitpublish.digital/web ranker Chris to schedule your 30-minute discovery call.